Go to some breaking news now.
We're going to interrupt the news for this breaking news conference happening right now for the deadly crash after a pursuit in Panorama City. Let's listen in to the LAPD speaking now.
A couple more.
I think somebody else is coming up. Yeah.
Okay, this is over that black truck that was pursued by LAPD that came to a crashing end, slammed into a Honda Civic. 2 passengers inside. Police confirmed one of those passengers inside of that Civic T-boned at that intersection was killed earlier today in Panorama City.
Okay, it looks like we have an update on that story too. We believe now 2 people have died as a result of the crash that happened after the pursuit. Let's listen in now.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's Alan, A-L-A-N, Hamilton, H-A-M-I-L-T-O-N. I'm Deputy Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department for Operations Valley Bureau. And I'll be providing a brief information regarding an incident that occurred here tonight that originated in the Foothill Division. Okay, so is anyone not ready? Okay. At approximately 7:45 p.m. tonight, Foothill officers responded to a radio call of grand theft auto suspects there now in Foothill Division. Upon arriving at the location, they identified a stolen vehicle and began following that stolen vehicle. The officers observed multiple suspects inside of the vehicle and requested additional units for the eventual attempt to pull the vehicle over. As the officers were following the vehicle, that vehicle began to take evasive maneuvers and try to get away from the officers. As those officers followed the vehicle, they requested an LAPD air unit in order to safely take the suspects into custody. After following the suspects for a period of time, the suspects tried to flee from the officers, and in the process of trying to flee from the officers, the LAPD officers initiated a pursuit. In the course of initiating that pursuit, they were waiting for the air unit to respond in order to go into tracking mode. As the pursuit exited the freeway and came into this area of Panorama City, the suspect vehicle went westbound, approaching Woodman Street off of Cantera Street towards Lanark Avenue, which changes right here at Woodman. At the time the suspect was fleeing from the officers, as the air unit came overhead, that suspect struck a vehicle that was going northbound on Woodman Avenue, and tragically, the 2 people that were inside of that vehicle have passed away as a result of that traffic collision with the suspects. Following that traffic collision, the driver of the stolen vehicle attempted to flee from the scene and was quickly apprehended by officers from the Foothill Division that were involved in the pursuit. The suspect that was a passenger in the vehicle was taken into custody without incident. There was a brief foot pursuit of the secondary suspect. That suspect was taken into custody following a use of force, and both of those suspects have been transported to local hospitals or in stable condition. Those suspects will eventually be transported for booking following their medical treatment tonight. Again, there was no use of force on the suspect who was the passenger in the stolen vehicle. There was a use of force on the driver of the stolen vehicle. He did sustain injuries as a result of the use of force, and that individual is currently being treated at a local hospital for those minor injuries. They are both in stable condition. I just have a little bit more. As a result of the traffic collision, we've requested the mayor's response team and the LAPD's Family Assistant Unit to respond here, and they're both here on scene. And we will be making a follow-up to contact the relatives of those victims and helping them at this time of tragedy. As you know, unfortunately, it's very difficult under these circumstances to safely conduct police work out here on the streets. We're going to provide every amount of service and assistance to these families as we can at this time.
Can you tell us about the victims, Chief?
We don't have any additional information on the victims at this time. They both appear to be adults, and we'll have more information on them in the coming hours.
2 men?
Yes, ma'am.
2 men victims, 2 male victims?
All I can say right now is 2 victims. We'll have more information shortly, ma'am.
What was the use of force? A taser or something? What was the use of force?
So it sounds like there was a combination of a taser and a takedown at the termination of the foot pursuit.
Did the driver stay in the car?
We've been listening to a live news conference underway by Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton with the LAPD talking about how 2 innocent people were killed after a suspect in a pursuit crashed into another car. A driver and passenger were both arrested in that case.
This all originated in the Foothill division of a stolen car with a couple of suspects in that vehicle. We understand that to be a dark-colored pickup truck that ran into that Honda Civic and killed 2 people inside the Honda. The deputy there, the police officer with LAPD was stating both the suspect, which was the driver, and a passenger are both in custody tonight. We'll continue to follow this story here on KCAL News. We'll have more updates if warranted here in this newscast. Also coming up on KCAL News at 11 o'clock, CBS Los Angeles.